Okay, so the first video was on the idea of de-emphasizing curriculum. I know a lot of parents are going to say to me, "Nope, curriculum is very important. I want to make sure my child is keeping up with their reading, writing, math skills." And yes, that's definitely important. And particularly for kids who are struggling, this may be actually be a good time to sort of try and find where they may have some gaps in their learning and to try filling in those gaps. The one thing I will say is just sort of being aware of how you're actually going to proceed with this curriculum. One of the things that we often will hear, in terms of when we're working with parents, is how homework can become a struggle, how something that could have taken 10 or 15 minutes ends up being an hour to an hour and a half, and it's stressful for everyone. So one of the things that I would say is if you are going to, sort of proceed with curriculum and you want to make sure that your child is reading for half an hour a day or doing math for a certain amount or what have you, I would encourage you to try and break those periods up into manageable units. What I mean by manageable units is actually manageable units for your child. One thing I would ask parents is try and think and process as to how long can your child engage in something that is difficult to get them to do. So for example, if they don't like reading, what's the longest you may be able to get them to sit for to do some reading? Maybe it's only 10 minutes. If it is only 10 minutes, then I would say that you're going to structure your work period into 8 minutes at a time. And maybe you're doing 8 minutes, 3 minute break, 8 minutes, 3 minute breaks. Now, the very first thing I hear when I recommend that from parents is time intensive, resource intensive. And I agree, it is time intensive and resource intensive. You need a parent to sort of be there to set that up from the onset. What I would say is a couple of things. One is the more we sort of stick to this routine, the more it actually becomes a routine, meaning you may not or no longer have to be present to tell your child to transition from one activity to another. There's also ways to set up, sort of alarms that will go off to let your child know that it's time to transition. I think the important thing again is keeping the periods manageable for your child so that you are going to increase the chances of success. Another way to increase chances of success, of course, is to provide a break, whether it's a reward of watching a 2 minute video on YouTube, whether it's some other sort of thing that they enjoy, and then transitioning back to work. Obviously, if you're able to get them to do maybe 3 chunks of work, then maybe they get a longer break following those 3 chunks. So again, the recommendation here is pick a manageable amount of time that your child can engage in these curriculum, these tasks related to curriculum, and then again provide some intersperse some breaks and rewards to increase the chances that they're going to follow through. Okay, thanks.